as cases like the Dinakaran case come into limelight, as cases of graft and fraud and forgery and abuse of power consistently make headlines about the legal profession in this country, how will you restore that faith? At this point in time, most people believe that the legal community has too much power, abuses too much power, and is out of control. How will you change that?
Well, the first thing is that the instances of abuse of a power are serious. They can never be brushed away. They must never be brushed under the carpet. They must never be allowed simply to get what is called healing by time process. I don't think it helps the legal system at all. I think if there is an aberration, we have to own up to it. We have to confront that aberration.
You will confront them as now the head of the bar?
Well, I think we have always confronted aberrations. At least I'm very confident, and I can speak for both the Attorney General and myself, that we have confronted and we are questioning ourselves continuously. Now, what is important is again that there is a mismatch which is taking place. The mismatch is you have a solid foundation built up by known and, let me tell you, many unknown, upright lawyers who have delivered social justice, who have delivered professional justice with complete purity.
That's right.
We have a solid foundation. Now, that solid foundation is not always seen because it is still a foundation. Now, to make sure that a future generation of lawyers or present generation of lawyers get connected to that foundation.
I'm really glad you're saying this, because that's the point that I wanted to come to. You're talking about the poor. That's not the picture that emerges when you think about the legal profession in the country. For instance, every time you have a case like the Ambani case, for instance, you know, and the legal fraternity, at least to most people in this country, seems divided between two giant, very wealthy brothers. When cases like this happen, that's what the people of this country see. How will you fight things like that?
Well, this is an important issue which you have taken up here. And that is the point, that is where the Bar Council has a huge role. We have to be new social engineers. It is not the old, shall I say, the old magic of a case and a court appearance and litigation and a termination of a case and more litigation, which is really, shall I say, the substratum of the legal profession. The legal profession today, the challenge is conscious act, conscious responsibility, conscious behavior as a lawyer, knowing social ramifications, knowing, shall I say, impact on democratic norms. These are choices which a lawyer has to be taught to make from the very beginning he joins the profession. Now, that requires a high degree of, shall I say, intermixture. It needs, above all, cohesion. How is it possible? Is it possible at all? I'm an incurable optimist.
I have three last questions for you, Solicitor General. My first question is, you all created a giant legal reform plan. As of today, where does the plan stand?
The plan is actually getting implemented.
How much money would that plan require?
Well, it will require enormous amount of money. We are actually putting all our pieces together. We are getting the chief executives who will implement the plan, and we are reviewing progress on a continued basis, and we are deeply committed to it. We are deeply committed to making, shall I say, justice truly accessible.
And justice cannot be truly accessible unless the millions of pending cases are finally solved.
Yes.
What is the timeline? Give us a timeline, Solicitor General. In your legal reform plan, what quantum of pending cases will you bring down to what number in what period of time? Because people don't understand nuances. They just want to know the basic framework.
Well, I can say I cannot make a prediction with reference to a year and a month.
Right.
But if our changes get underway,
right,
the success will be much more than what we anticipate. And I think we have to gear towards management techniques. We have to gear towards classification of cases. We have to gear towards specialized or judges getting familiar with one subject and quickly disposing of all that which that subject entails. There are multiple ways in which we are engaging it.
In the next 5 years, you will substantially reduce the cases?
I am very, very confident that at least before the present Attorney General and the present Solicitor General complete their term,
which is when?
Which is, say, in another 2 years from
right.
now, we would have something to show for ourselves.
It's a misrepresentation to say it's competition.
Exactly. It is not, because what is done by the Indian legal profession is not business.